What if America isn't collapsing? What if we're watching it happen in real time? I see people divided, angry and tired. Neighbors turn enemies, fueled by the fire. They say this is progress, they say it's alright, but why does it feel like we're losing the fight? I see people hopeless, losing belief, working all day but still drowning beneath. They call this freedom, the land of the brave, but why does it feel like we're digging our grave? I grew up believing this place was strong, a country united even when things went wrong. We didn't agree but we still had respect. Now everybody's angry and filled with regret. Families breaking from politics now, friends turning strangers and nobody proud. People screaming online every day like hate became normal and love walked away. I go to the store, everybody look tense, nobody smiling, nobody content. Bills going up while the pace stays low, people losing hope but won't let it show. I used to feel proud when I looked at the flag, now I just wonder how we ended so bad. How did we get so divided and cold? How did we trade truth for headlines and polls? I thought maybe I was just overthinking, but then I looked around and saw people sinking, anxiety rising, depression everywhere, but we keep pretending like nobody cares. Too much hate, too much fear, something's wrong, it's crystal clear. Too much hate, too much fear, too much hate, too much fear. They keep us distracted with left versus right, while real problems grow every night. We fight each other while they stay above, controlling the chaos and calling it love. Media profits from panic and rage, keeping us trapped and emotionally caged. Every headline built to divide so nobody notices what's happening behind. They tell you what's good, they tell you what's wrong, silence opinions that don't go along. Call you extreme if you question the frame, then publicly shame you for thinking the same. We forgot what made this country strong, hard work, community, right from wrong. Now everything's built on clicks and trends, and loyalty changes to fear what bends. People don't talk anymore, they attack. Nobody listens, everybody reacts, and every year it feels worse than before, like something important walked out the door. Maybe America doesn't need saving, maybe Americans need waking up. Maybe the country didn't break, maybe we stopped protecting what built it up. I see people divided, angry and tired. Neighbors turn enemies, fueled by the fire. They say this is progress, they say it's alright, but why does it feel like we're losing the fight? I see people hopeless, losing belief, working all day but still drowning beneath. They call this freedom, the land of the brave, but why does it feel like we're digging our grave? Yeah, kids growing up, scared of the future ahead. Parents stressed out trying to keep food and bread. Mental health rising but nobody stops, everybody busy just chasing the clock. We glorify fame but ignore being real, teach people status instead of how to heal. Everybody searching for purpose and peace, but looking in places that never bring relief. And I'm not saying America's gone, I'm saying we waited too long to respond. We got comfortable living, distracted and numb, now we don't recognize what we become. We used to believe in something bigger, now everybody's triggered by every little figure. Patriotism turned into a fight instead of a reason to reunite. I still believe this hope if we try, still believe truth hasn't fully died, still believe people can open their eyes before the division completely arrives. Wake up now, time is short, truth matters, restore more. Restoring America ain't about hate, it's not about rage or deciding your fate. It's about honesty, values, respect, learning to listen instead of reject. It's about fathers being present again, communities helping instead of pretend. People working hard and standing for truth, teaching real morals again to the youth. We need less ego and more understanding, less division and more demanding. The leaders stop even the fear in the God, while regular people emotionally die. You don't restore something through violence and screams, you restore it by rebuilding the dream, by standing together even when disagreeing, and remembering freedom still needs protecting. So this is the warning before it gets worse, before more people feel lost and cursed, before the country forgets what it was and nobody remembers what unity does. I see people divided, angry and tired, neighbors turn enemies, fueled by the fire. They say this is progress, they say it's alright, but why does I see people hurting, trying to survive, working every day just to barely get by. They say this is freedom, the American dream, but why does it feel farther than it seems? I see people broken, tired and stressed, everybody fighting but nobody rests. We all want change but don't know where to start. How do we rebuild a country falling apart? Yeah, I remember growing up, hearing stories of hope. People came here with nothing and still learned to cope. Worked hard, built lives, raised families with pride. Now people work harder just to barely survive. Single mom stressed, trying to pay all the bills. Fathers exhausted, working multiple shifts. Young people drowning in debt before life, trying to smile while fighting inside. You can feel the pressure everywhere that you go. Everybody anxious, but nobody shows. Fake happy pictures covering up the pain. Whole country stressed, but pretending okay. I sit and wonder how we got here now. Why everybody angry, confused, shut down. Why neighbors don't trust neighbors anymore. Why people feel lost in the place they were born. I thought maybe time would naturally heal, but problems ignored become painfully real. And now every year it feels heavy and still like the country forgot how to genuinely build. Too much stress, too much pain. People tired of the same. Too much stress, too much pain. People tired of the same. They keep us divided by race and belief. Our regular people can barely eat. Turn us against each other every election and disappear after collecting attention. Media profits from fear and divide, keeping us emotional all of the time. Every headline built to trigger the brain, so people stay angry and easy to sway. Meanwhile, families collapsing in silence. Mental health rising, addiction and violence. Communities broken, trust disappearing, but nobody listens unless there's cheering. We need schools that teach people how to think, not just memorize and compete till they sink. Need healthcare that people can actually reach. Need leadership focused on more than speeches. Need jobs that allow people time to live, not work till they're empty with nothing to give. Need less corruption and more accountability. Less performance and more responsibility. Maybe restoring America starts with restoring Americans. Maybe the country reflects how broken the people became. I see people hurting, trying to survive, working every day just to barely get by. They say this is freedom, the American dream, but why does it feel farther than it seems? I see people broken, tired and stressed, everybody fighting but nobody rests. We all want change but don't know where to start. How do we rebuild a country falling apart? Restoring America ain't about hate, it ain't about blaming or choosing a side. It's about realizing everybody's struggling, nobody wins when the country's divided. We need fathers involved in their children's lives, need mothers supported instead of deprived. Need communities helping each other again, not strangers pretending online to be friends. Need truth without twisting it into fear. Need leaders that actually care we're here. Need people who listen before they react. Need unity stronger than digital attacks. And yeah, we got problems, that part is true, but America's strongest when people pull through. History prove it again and again. We survive when we stand together as men, not perfect people, just willing to try, willing to listen instead of divide, willing to build something stronger than pride. Before the whole country emotionally dies. Build again, trust again, heal the pain, love again. Build again, trust again, heal the pain, love again. Imagine a country where people feel safe, where hard work actually leads to a place where families can grow without constant fear, where truth still matters and leaders are clear. Imagine schools teaching purpose and work instead of creating more pressure and hurt. Imagine communities helping the weak instead of destroying whoever they disagree with. Imagine America focused on growth, not feeding division for clicks and votes. Not teaching people they constantly hate everyone different to think they're a threat. We can rebuild, but it starts with us, with honesty, empathy, rebuilding trust. Not waiting for politicians to save the day, but regular people choosing a better way. That's how you restore what's falling apart, not through violence but changing the heart. And maybe the dream ain't completely gone, maybe it's waiting for people to move on from the anger, the fear, the endless divide. And remember there's humans on every side.